Now I want to give a warm welcome to a speaker from PCS who have stood with us on so many issues since this crisis first hit. From PCS we have John McNally.
Well, thanks very much. I think there was a very clear message came from George Osborne and the government of millionaires today, and that is austerity goes on. The unremitting class war they've been conducting against the people of this country for many years now is going to go on. And when it's debated in Parliament, because there's a political consensus that says there's no alternative to cuts in privatisation, they might be poring over this or that detail, but what they're really doing is debating how best to rob the middle and working classes in this country. And what they've done today is they turned a blind eye to poverty in this country. 13 million in poverty, 1.8 million families looking for homes, unemployment, particularly amongst the youth, at scandalous levels, our rights being eroded, 0 hours contracts. And when universal credit does come in, if it ever does come in, it's such a shambles. There'll be 5 to 6 million people in work, not unemployed, in work, on universal credit, which tells us, if you excuse the phrase, as taxpayers, we are subsidising on a yearly basis low-paying employers who are exploiting the people of this country. And at the same time, we see the energy companies like E.ON, profits gone up by 26% on the basis of a 9% increase on prices. And you know, some statistics really shock you. 5 families in this country have more wealth than the poorest 20%. But this, of course, is an international attack, and there's an even more shocking statistic. The 85 human beings have more collected wealth than the bottom, the poorest 3.5 billion of humanity. Anybody who describes a system like that as rational as himself needs to have their heads examined. It is an absolute shambles. Because what is actually going on under the name of austerity is an unprecedented transfer of wealth and power from the vast majority, from the 99% to the 1%. And the message to us is because the banks were in crisis, we can no longer afford the welfare state. We can no longer afford free health care or indeed free education. And one of the consequences of this was reported in the Telegraph of all newspapers just a few days ago, when it said that the rich, the wealthy, have an extra 20 years of healthy living compared with the rest of us. That is an absolute scandal. Now, PCS has said for some time, a slogan taken up by the TUC, that Britain needs a pay rise. Since 2008, £64 billion has been taken off the value of workers' wages, including £11 billion in the public sector, itself. And this year they're telling us again, another pay freeze, 1%. Well, inflation is running at 3%. Now I want to say this point because I don't think we can avoid this issue. PCS, and as far as I'm concerned, are about nobody and want to get rid of this government. We've got to get rid of them. They're a government of our barbarians. But what we don't want is the same again, more cuts in privatisation if a Labour government comes in. What we need is a real alternative to this barbarism. But you won't be able to do that, Ed Balls, on the same spending plans as the Tories. And we have to tell them that is unacceptable too. You know, there's a great lie, and they're trying to make it an orthodoxy. And the lie is there's no alternative to the market, and there's no alternative to the more extreme form of the market, neoliberalism. That is a lie, and we know it is. They tell us that privatisation works, but privatisation, let's be clear about it, it's nothing more than legalised theft, and it has to stop. Any politician who puts forward or proposes privatisation is not fit to hold public office. So from that point of view, we also have to fight to the best of our ability against the welfare reform, because what that is, it's been conducted on the basis of a hate campaign against the disabled and the unemployed. But what we need to do, in conclusion, is we have to articulate our values and oppose what they are trying to impose upon us. We believe in solidarity and compassion, and a very basic idea in the welfare state is not complicated. It means if somebody's down under luck and they're going through a bad patch in their life, you can do one or two things. You can put out your hand and you can raise them up, or you can kick them in the guts. We believe you raise people up. So how do we fight this? Yes, we've got to build the widest possible alliance. Yes, we use civil disobedience. But let me tell you this, we have a powerful movement in the trade union movement. And the most effective form of civil disobedience is strike action. PCS has been saying this for years, and we're going to continue to say it. What we need to do is organise joint coordinated action across the public sector to defeat austerity and defeat the pay freeze. What we need to do in effect is harness the power of our movement, the students, the pensioners, the unemployed, and those of us in the trade union movement to fight for our class in the same way that Cameron fights for his class. So solidarity, if we stick together, we will win. Thank you.